Governor Tim Walz has released new guidelines on how he'll safely reopen the state. This includes what the service industry will look like starting June 1st. Valley News Team's Callie Hubbard tells us what the phases will look like.
June 1st marks phase 2 of Governor Tim Walz's plan to reopen Minnesota. He says restaurants and bars can be open for outdoor dining only with no more than 50 customers. Reservations and masks for workers will be required.
Restaurants and bars, I just want to speak to all those folks. They're integral, not just to our economy. And we know now how many jobs they create. They're the places where we had first dates. They're the places where we celebrate our anniversaries.
The governor says personal services like salons and barber shops can operate at 25% capacity with a 6 feet distance. Appointments are required and workers and customers must wear masks. Campgrounds and charter boats can open with guidance. The order does not include fitness centers and there's no change for places of worship.
We're doing a lot of curbside pickup because some people don't feel comfortable coming in and being around other people.
Essential businesses like Holland's Landscaping and Garden in Moorhead have been enforcing guidelines since opening back up April 29th.
I asked people to wear masks. We asked that children don't come in and things like that.
The owner tells me she's happy that the governor is being cautious, but she's excited to see her service industry members make a comeback. In Moorhead, Callie Hubbard, Valley News Live.
The governor says there are no changes for youth camps and sports on June 1st. Day camps will be allowed because officials say they are a critical source of daycare. For more on phases 3 and 4 of opening Minnesota, you can download our Valley News Live app. Meanwhile, in Minnesota, state health officials are reporting 29 more deaths from the virus in the state. The death toll now stands at 777, with 635 of them living in a nursing home or assisted living facility. 9 deaths are still listed as probable, meaning there's no test result on file. The total case count increased by 645 to a total of 17,670. 12,227 people no longer need isolation. Health officials in North Dakota are confirming 4 more deaths, along with 102 new cases in the state. All of the new deaths are in Cass County, and they all had underlying health conditions. This brings the death toll to 49. 37 are confirmed with to COVID-19, with 8 still pending official death records. There are 2,095 positive cases in the state, and 1,302 people have recovered. After a briefing with local leaders in the metro, officials say the hundreds of beds set up at the Fargo Dome as COVID-19 overflow space will be taken down. This is what it looked like when all the beds were set up as an emergency hospital. But hospitalizations in the metro are consistent. Sanford Health says it has 42 COVID-19 patients in its facilities, and Essentia says it has at most 10 patients. This information came from a news conference the city hosted today. We can feel the difference out there today in terms of the temps and the wind. So how about this evening? Well, here's Hutch with a look at your first alert forecast. Hey, Hutch.
Hey, Andrea, we do have a lot of clouds here in the FM area. That limited our temperatures significantly today, only near 70 degrees. But we are seeing blue skies thanks to our friends at Home of Economy in Devils Lake, North Dakota. Our newest addition to the Storm Team Skycam network keeps growing, allowing us to keep our eyes on the skies for you. Things are high and dry there and a little breezy as well, as you see it shaking from time to time. Devils Lake gusting to 31. Fargo gusting to 37 miles per hour. Those gusty winds that have been with us will continue. Here's that pesky cloud cover from the Southern Valley right into the FM area, into the Highway 200 corridor. It's been a gray day. Notice temperatures in the exact same area in the 60s, 70s to near 80 surrounding that across the area. Your planner for tonight in Fargo looks like this. We'll slip down into those 60s for much of our late evening hours. The wind remaining breezy. Grand Forks, similarly, you might see a few more peaks of sunshine. Temperatures in the low 70s this evening. Hey, we have a chance of some raindrops in the forecast. I'll tell you all about it here in a moment.
All right, thanks, Hutch. Moorhead police are now releasing the identity of a 36-year-old man who led police on a chase into Fargo before getting away. Police now say they're looking for Jeremiah Ard. They say a Moorhead officer tried stopping his SUV just before 1 a.m. for traveling in the wrong lane in the area of 20th Street and 8th Avenue South. Ard then is said to have led police on a high-speed chase, eventually cutting through a private lawn. Officers then stopped pursuing him because of his driving behavior. A few minutes later, Ard's vehicle was reportedly seen in Fargo, and then police eventually found it abandoned in a cul-de-sac. They used a canine and drone to try and find him, but were not successful. If you know where he is, call police. The city of Moorhead is now confirming several cases of COVID-19 diagnosed within the fire department. They have not released a specific number, but did tell us that around 60% of the North Moorhead department have tested positive. Only one station so far is affected. McGuff Construction Company, one of the general contractors on the Block 9 project in downtown Fargo, has confirmed that one of the subcontractors on the project tested positive for COVID-19. Out of caution for the health of all personnel working on Block 9, the field office and most of the job site is closed until Tuesday, May 26th, to allow for natural disinfection of the site.
As we're just overwhelmed, and we don't have the necessary people to detect the fraud like we should.
Federal investigators say an international crime syndicate is targeting several state unemployment offices with fraudulent claims costing taxpayers millions. North Dakota is one of those states, and the Attorney General has launched a task force to figure out the losses. Valley News Team's Joshua Pagero looks into the businesses that may have been impacted and how you can protect yourself.
Some school districts across North Dakota have been targeted by fraudulent uninsurance claims. In the Valley, we've confirmed that Grand Forks had 3 cases where someone who's currently employed had a claim filed fraudulently. The district says it was able to catch a discrepancy.
There's been an unprecedented amount of claims that have been filed here in North Dakota and throughout the country with the regular unemployment and plus all the federal programs.
Job Service North Dakota says there's an active investigation to determine the cost to taxpayers, but the agency reveals so far the number of fraud cases has been low.
Anytime you have a lot of money that can be distributed, there's always going to be those that are going to try to take it illegally.
The agency says this has not slowed down their office in processing unemployment claims. Since mid-March, they processed more than 79,000 claims. All of last year, they only processed 21,000. According to the Better Business Bureau, the pandemic has turned us into sitting ducks for criminals.
Number 1, we're socially isolated. Number 2, we're financially and emotionally vulnerable. Number 3, we're spending more time online. And number 4, we're distracted.
The BBB says to be extra vigilant with your private information.
They're hacking us and our accounts. They're putting malware into our computers. They're phishing. They're swiping our credit card information.
And for business owners and employees to be wary of opening spam emails. In Fargo, Joshua Pagero, Valley News Live.
The North Dakota Department of Instruction says they were notified of a large number of public school employees being impacted, yet couldn't provide us with a number. Anyone who believes they're a victim of unemployment fraud should report it immediately. A nursing home in Trail County is now confirming 20 positive cases of COVID-19. The diagnosis was at Luther Memorial Home in Mayville, North Dakota. Yesterday, the nursing home was notified that 13 staff members, 6 residents of the skilled nursing facility, and 1 resident in assisted living tested positive. The long-term care facility tested 318 people for the coronavirus on Monday, including staff and residents. The World Health Organization is warning against the use of the malaria drug hydroxychloroquine to tackle COVID-19, saying the drug has yet to be found effective in both the treatment and prevention of the disease. The executive director of the WHO Health Emergencies Program said warnings had been issued by many authorities regarding the potential side effects of the drug, and many countries had limited its use to that of clinical trials.
I would point out, however, that at this stage, hydroxychloroquine, norchloroquine have been as yet found to be effective in the treatment of COVID-19 or in the prophylaxis against coming down with the disease.
President Trump's revelation yesterday that he was taking hydroxychloroquine caught many in his administration by surprise and set off an urgent effort by officials to justify his actions. A curious squirrel has made friends with a German family and now gets to enjoy its very own miniature beer garden. The squirrel is simply nuts about the tiny picnic table made especially for its small paws. A bored 10-year-old built the table after he found himself with a lot of free time during the pandemic. And as his region in southern Germany reopened beer gardens this week, the squirrel was able to join in the Bavarian tradition. The boy and his mother have been leaving food on the table, complete with a tiny beer mug filled with nuts, seeds, and raisins. Still ahead tonight, fewer passengers means less work for rideshare drivers, what the future may look like for the gig worker industry. Up next.
Did you say squirrel? Temperatures today a little cooler in the south, 70 to 80 up north again. Here is a time lapse from our brand new Home of Economy camera in the Devil's Lake area. A few clouds staying to your south. The forecast includes a chance of thunder, which is out west tonight. Details next.